I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Links to the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me.
No affiliation, why they faking? This ain't for debating. We the real, they really imitation. I be contemplating why this ain't on like heavy rotation on radio stations. I just pray the Lord give me patience, cause I'm running through these rappers like my name Walter Payton. Shitting on these rappers, 9 to 5 is my occupation. Raw, you come in with your best troops, you best bring more. Already told you I got the juice like a Renthal. Already know what I'm about to do, bet your men fall. Everyone know that we got the truth, all your men falls. So boss, overtaking our enemies. Moves calculated and orchestrated like symphonies. Smooth operator when bringing haters to misery. Top 5 list ain't shit unless you mention me. Yeah, that's why we don't associate. Fuck niggas make them more fuck niggas. Why they procreate? Why they overhate? Cause their time is short and a moment late. Let it culminate to they heart erasing and perpetrate. Cowards perpetrate like they little group is respectable. Talking intellectual, all of you homosexuals, faggots.
There's no one like. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to hear your children.
I don't want to deal with you. I don't want the fellowship. I ain't trying to deal with you. Ain't TBK, ain't the truth. Keep it real with you. Defenders to the faith. I got no problem all the years with you. All that bullshit, you can take it over here with you. You'd rather be a houseboy. Rather run with them field niggas. Show them to put in work. Move mountains, crush hills. Nigga, take a dead soul. Breathe life and make it live, nigga. No affiliation, so with no one to compare with us. Took the Lord's laws and just added it with fear, nigga. Ain't for the body, cause you know they killing head quicker. With these bars, I'm on my grizzly, so bear witness. You spit cold, I spit flu, don't compare sickness. You lost diamond, I've lost friends, don't compare dentist. You PK, we been the bullshit, we ain't Christian. Harm one of us, get pistol whipped like the gun got a belt with it. I'm bred different, the competition just a mill, I'm fed different. I stood front line on them fields, I bled different. I'd rather be a corpse than a coward, I'm led different. Shit, I'm led different. Come through like a juggernaut, so don't get in the way. And we take everything serious, we don't play. I wonder now what they gonna say. Shit, we make profits off the shooters like the NBA. This slave, but switching sides, nigga, we ain't on the same page. Immaculate conception, these niggas bitch made. I'm sticking with the foundation where my bricks laid. You switch sides, I'd rather switch K's. You was never with us, nigga, just know we on mission, nigga. Right hand hold the scriptures, nigga, left hand hold the pistol, nigga. How you want it? You can get it spiritual or physics, nigga. Wrong ones to come against, so bring an army with you. No affiliation, when you see us, make the difference with us. No affiliation, when you see us, know we different, nigga. No affiliation, so no, you can't kick it with us. The wrong ones to come against, bring an army with you.
Brianna Wynn relies on Spectrum Business to keep her shop connected with fast, reliable internet, the Spectrum Business Connect phone system, and mobile service.
I could not live without it.
That's Spectrum Business.
It's easy to sum it up.
Just business.
We just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? When we're talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than 1 that it's not me. It's beef, we shred a nigga block, that's chop cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting them, that's Ali. You read, I teach you with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machine, you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'm a go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how I go. Try to stomach the slug light, they bring out the nose, bandana on the trip. All heads coming out the fall, connected from college, New York niggas, so let it go.
Is that when we talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we shred a nigga block, that's chop cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting them, that's Ali. You reach, I teach you with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machine, you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'm a go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach the thug life, they bring out the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe, connected from Cali to New York niggas, so let it go. Pay for this. Nigga, I eat bars and drink flows, thinking you woke into your third eye peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code, it ain't a game. These niggas lame, state bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, we want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him running, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Lamp for these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number one at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gonna need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I switch. If I touch it, it's dying. Tell a bitch that I'm godsend. It ain't because my kicks, it's built like 5'6", 5'7", it's my bitch. Dangerous, high risk, I lose it, get another one. They think I'm talking about a girl, I'm talking about another gun. Head now, hey look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas, we burn the crib. I'm a head now, and I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's hitting it, I don't fear class. Dollars should make it sound like raindrops, that's a quiet storm. Get the job done, and if you would get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you get real, that's how I was born. Walking in fist ready for war. I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me blessed. That's why I am armed. Shouldn't live in the crib, nigga. I should buy a farm to go through this shit so ever. I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. That's believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. That's believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
Let's have fun with it.
Uh-oh, step up on the scene. That's an cats is bitches. Y'all can't fuck with us no level. They snitches, man. Let me tell you something, talking about I'm calling the police. If you have a warrant, I'm turning you in. Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Judas ass niggas, turn them in for 30 shekels. That's that $2,000 reward. All y'all pussy and y'all hate your people.
I don't wanna do it cause this shit is vanity. If I didn't do it, I know you'll be mad at me. But this what they wanted, so this what it had to be. I gotta burn up these dudes like a calorie. They need to hang that shit up like a gallery. Everything that they be teaching is fallacy. Actually, they never left Christianity. All of that purple, no originality. So we be questioning your sexuality. Cut all the noise, kill all the faggotry. You the police, that's the reality. Finance the school or policeman salary. I do not mess with no swine like an allergy. Turn on the news, see all the brutality. Assault and battery, all the fatalities. Put on a badge, they murder us happily. It's obvious you have no sense of morality. Catered to women, I pimp the strategy. Seen the mentality, modern day Pharisees. Brought in phylacteries, it's insanity. Came from a west and you have the audacity to bite the hand that has fed you. That's blasphemy. These niggas crazy. Like split personalities, arresting a nigga. then teach on the Sabbath day white supremacy. All in your spirituality. Muhammad said, get 'em. So here comes the casualty. Loyalty's not built inside your anatomy. You are disgraceful to our nationality. I know that this gotta hurt like a cavity. Your wife cannot see, she looks like a manatee. Indirect distance, y'all bitches is cowardly. Y'all niggas pussy, using vulgarity. No fuss are given like chastity. Close to the edge, so I hop off the balcony. You niggas stick to the municipality. NYPD who be paying them hourly. You cannot skate with this, not in this galaxy. You cannot fuck with us in no capacity. One was your father, your leader, your majesty. Honestly, there is no place that I'd rather be. You became ready for war like a Maccabee. Home of the truth, and I'll die for my family.
All these cats is bitches. They can't fuck with us on no level. They snitches, man. Let me tell you something. Talking about, I'm calling the police. If you have a warrant, I'm turning you in. Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Judas ass niggas, turn them in for 30 shekels. That's that $2,000 reward. All y'all pussy and y'all hate your people, bitch.
Okay, we sitting here with Officer Katazar, member of the IS UPK, coming out of 1 West 125th Street.
Damn right.
Sitting here in the studio. A couple of questions I'm going to throw at you.
All right.
Now, I hear you got a new track coming out.
Right.
And also here you're one of the founding members of the Lost Tribe Project.
Had to be. I gotta burn up these dudes like a calorie. They need to hang that shit up like a gallery. Everything that they be teaching is fallacy. Actually.
Okay. Now tell me about this new track. Give me a little something about that.
Okay, yeah, like you said, man, you know what I'm saying? Officer of the ISUPK Israelite School, Universal and Practical Knowledge. Lost Tribes is a music group that, you know what I'm saying, me and my brother Dawud Da started. You know what I'm saying? As you can tell, you know what I'm saying, our narration describes the lives of the Lost Tribes in the ghetto trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? So, long of the story short, you know, I got this track coming out. It's called 30 Shekels.
That's blasphemy. These niggas crazy. Like split personalities, arrested a nigga.
And represents a certain, you know what I'm saying, traitorous group. You know what I'm saying, similar to Judas. You know what I'm saying? Brothers who don't love their people, but basically, long of the story short, there was an incident that took place in a so-called Hebrew Israelite group, where a leader was exposed as not only a false prophet, a false leader, but a crooked cop.
I ain't want to do it.
And what happened was we addressed it. There was 2 articles that were brought out. You understand? And I mean a court case where they won over $700,000. You understand that from the city of New York. When do niggas ever win against New York?
Right.
You understand? So here's my point. So a 2-hour video was put out. It was never addressed if he did it or not. An apology statement was never made. And then a music video comes out where they want to believe that we're petty and we're haters or mad at the color purple.
Okay.
Let me explain something to you, man. Nobody's mad at the color purple.
Right.
Like nobody's mad at the color white.
Right.
The problem is that, like the white man, there's crimes that were committed inside the earth that were unanswered for, and justice needs to be brought. You understand? And what it comes down to is that these cats who wear purple, there was crimes that were committed by their leader, and nothing was answered for.
Right.
You understand that? And there's got to be a certain amount of repercussions. Justice has to come for those brothers. You understand that? Like, where is the sense of brotherhood? And then to turn around and say that they're going to snitch on their people. If you had a warrant, like I brought out on the track, Jesus Christ had a warrant. These are the same people that would have turned their brother in for 30 shekels for that same $2,000 reward.
So we for it. We're for stopping prison. We're for cops in the hood. We're all for it. Bring more of them. So we for it. We're for stopping prison. We're for cops in the hood. We're all for it. Bring more of them. Don't stop and frisk. I'm calling the cops. I am snitching. Your ass going to jail. If I'm in your neighborhood, you going to jail. If you are wanted, I'm turning you in. That's $2,000. That's a fresh free $2,000. That's good. Wanted $2,000. That can help my nation with that money. If you're wanted, you're going to jail. I will tell on you. I said openly. If any of you out here I see on the list being wanted, your ass going to jail.
And then to turn around and say that they're going to snitch on their people. If you had a warrant, like I brought out on the track, Jesus Christ had a warrant.
These are the same people that would have turned their brother in for 30 shekels for that same $2,000 reward.
I'm turning you in. We snitch. I'm calling the cops. We snitch. We snitch. We snitch.
At the end of the day, what needs to come out is that this is what it boils down to. The track came out. Here you go. You got it now. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoy it. But this is what really needs to come down is that the ISUPK is the body of Christ.
That's right.
You understand that? And this is the place where you're not going to get oppressed. This is the place where we defend the fatherless. And what everyone else needs to know is that the Lord is with us.
Right.
You can't mess with us in a debate. You can't mess with us physically. You can't mess with us spiritually. And you're about to find out that you can't mess with us lyrically either. You understand that? Just like the days of old, when David had to unite the kingdom, what'd he do? He went to civil war with his people. And you know how they knew who the Lord was with? They would drop on their side, but David would lose maybe 5, 10 people, thousands are dying on their side.
Right.
You understand that? And no matter what it is to defend this truth, we'll go to war and we'll be victorious.
Dig you.
We snitch. We snitch. We snitch.
Y'all can't fuck with us on no level. They snitches, man. Let me tell you something. Talking about, I'm calling the police. If you have a warrant, I'm turning you in. Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Judas ass niggas turn them in for 30 shekels. That's that $2,000 reward. All y'all pussy and y'all hate your people.
All right. Shalom, Israel. Cubole Canales y Mujeres. What's going down, y'all? This is another Tuesday night. This is a Brotherhood class, holding it down. Of course, want to start it out with our official disclaimer that we always give. We are the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under commanding Jordan Yohana. And we're the only home of the truth. And let me emphasize this, man. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group, man. And especially them purple cats, man. You know who I'm talking about, man. You know I'm talking about them purple cats, the IUIC. We are not affiliated with any Israelite group. And none of y'all can ever do anything to hinder the work of the Lord. Because let me say this, man. The Lord is with the ISUPK, man. So whatever you fake Israelite groups out there think, right, and want to claim against us, y'all have no room to talk. Y'all have no room to say anything about us. Because let me say this, man. Let me shout out them brothers in Kansas City real quick, man. Them carnales out there, man. They held it down, man. They went out swinging. You fake Israelites, man. The moment them purple cats show up, y'all fold. Y'all fold and act all scared and want peace with them. You know, we seen the Beale Street incident, man, where y'all, when they asked y'all if y'all were enemies, y'all said no. The UPK lets it be known we're enemies, man. And we will not fold to them purple cats. We will not fold to IUIC and their nonsense, man. So that's just a couple of things I had to get out, man. The UPK, the Lord is with us, man. We serve the Lord. We actually follow Christ, and we would never turn over our brother to the police, man. Like the song said, calling them Judas ass niggas, man. Because they will hand over their brother just like Judas did, handed over Christ, man. They will betray their brothers, man. And that, goes into the topic tonight, man. Brotherhood, carnalismo, man. That's what we're here to. That's what we're going over tonight, man. The topic, of course, is the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, man. Because of course, also, real quick, let me shout out them carnales in Texas, man. Them brothers, man. While all this was going on, of course, we can't forget about the mission to El Paso, man. Them brothers was out there taking care of the raza out there at the border, man. Helping them out, man. Doing food drives. That's the thing about us. We out there doing this work, man. We do food drives. We do prison programs. We do counseling, man. We do all types of things to help our people out, man. Versus what are y'all doing, man? Y'all got so much to say about the ISUPK, man. Y'all got so much, y'all so opinionated, to say what we should do and how we should handle things. But ain't none of y'all doing a goddamn thing out there, man. None of y'all are doing a goddamn thing to help our gente out, man. A lot of y'all fake Israelites, man, be posting. Y'all be having the nerve to have a camp right outside of powwow, man. That's what y'all be doing. Y'all be showing up, to instant, scenes of atrocities done to your people, and you blame our people, man. Just like them Purple Lanes, man, when they did that to the victims in Buffalo, New York, man, after that incident. Y'all have no brotherhood, man. So just, some things I wanted to get out before we start the class, man, because it needs to be said. You know what I mean? And best believe, man, we will not be bullied by any group, man. We do not. Our slogan is no cowards, no excuses for a reason, man. And y'all can never bully us. Y'all can never get us to fold. Y'all will never stop us in our work, man. You can never stop the work of the Lord, man. And best believe this, you harm the priests of the Lord, make threats against the priests of the Lord, mock the priests of the Lord, best believe the Lord is gonna deal with you, man. But gotta say that real quick before we get started. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. So, like I said, the topic tonight is the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. What do I mean by that, right? What I'm saying is, of course, when you come in class and you learn who the children of Israel and who the children of Judah are, I'm talking about black and brown. I'm talking about so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans, right? You're all on that 12-tribe chart, you know what I mean, from the tribe of Judah all the way down to the tribe of Issachar, right? My tribe, the Rasa, you know what I mean? We're all one people. We are oppressed together here in America, man. We suffer horribly in this country. And, it's all the same. I know, a lot of y'all out there want to play, what's called oppression Olympics. You thinking you more oppressed. Black people thinking they more oppressed than Mexicans. Mexicans thinking they more oppressed than black people. Native Americans thinking they more oppressed than Mexicans and black people. That's what I call oppression Olympics, man, which is all, diversion tactics from the oppressor to get us to be at odds with one another, to get us to be against one another. You know what I mean? But that's the thing about the ISUPK, man. In here, as you see on your lower left-hand corner of my screen, I have the slogan right there, black and brown, unite, black and brown unity. That truly exists in here, man. And I'm going to show you, today in today's brotherhood, show you how black and brown are going through their oppression together, man. We both equally oppressed, man. We both been stripped of our identity. We both been, been slaves. A lot of y'all don't know about, how Mexicans were slaves as well. A lot of y'all don't even know that Mexicans were also lynched. A lot of the suffering black people went through, Mexicans went through it as well. Native Americans went through it as well. Native Americans and black people worked together at one point before America came and pitted, both groups against one another. Because here's something y'all got to realize, man. These nations, right, this oppressor, every other nation knows who we are, man. Every other nation knows who we are as a people. They know we're the Lord's chosen people, man. Know what I mean? So that's what you got to realize, man. Let me shout out everyone in the chat real quick. Olivia Arnold, Yahweh Shema, Alatah Bashimi Awashai, sis. Halak, Shalom, Kanal, Yahbashir Shabrakata. Hey, young man Jaime, Shalom, Karnal, Yahbashimi Awashabrakata, man. Lord Allah, you can be right here with me next week, Karnal, so you can help me out, man. You know what I mean? You always add a flavor to this class, Karnal. So, man, Lord Allah, I'll see you next week, Karnal. Be right here with me. You know what I mean? But yeah, Nava. Okay, Karnal. Look, man. Y'all brothers, man. You already know the protocol, man. Look, man. We say shalom in here, man. We don't say shalom. We don't say shalom. Okay, if you're gonna come into a UPK class, at least salute us correctly. It's shalom, Karnal. All right. Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes, he became poor. Christ, you know what I mean? Yeah, Christ was poor, man. But Christ was rich because his people, everyone looked out for him. Because Christ, is the epitome of carnalismo. Christ did the ultimate sacrifice for his people, man. You know what I mean? And that's what we do here in the ISUPK. Okay, Ernaba, a little better, man. But nah, you just gotta. This is how you spell it out. I'm gonna help you out, man. Next time you type in a salute, just type in shalom. SHALAM. All right, yeah, we don't do shalom in here, cause none personal, none, you know what I mean? Not to, you know, be on some, you know, on some ignorance, but you know what I mean? This is the word. In here we do things correctly, and here we appreciate the correct salute, man. It's shalom. But the water. But let's get into it, man. I'm gonna go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33, right? Because as the title goes, we're gonna pull the scripture out. Orale canal, appreciate the water. I mean, yeah. We put it on the screen real quick so that we can, you know, get it. Jeremiah 50 and 33, right? Because that's what I first, you know what I mean? That's the topic. So we're gonna start it with this scripture. All right, do y'all see it on the screen right there? Okay, Most High in Christ. All right, so this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33, right? Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, right? And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Today, right, America has the children of Israel and the children of Judah, you know, captive. They do not want to let so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans go. That's why that's why you ever wonder why America goes through so much to demonize us, man? When we had our Passover in Raleigh, North Carolina, right? They were already, you know, we had these synagogues trying to come up against us, trying to demonize us, call us a hate group, you know what I mean? And try to make it seem like we're horrible, right? Because here's the reality of it. They know who we are and they don't want to let us go, man. Us, the first, you know, step to our freedom, right? Our liberation, you know what I mean? Our libertad is in us learning who we are. That's why we got so many, you know, different bywords and terms for us, man. You know, we think we're Hispanic, we think we're Latino, we think we're African American, we think we're Negroes, we think we're blacks, we think we're indigenous, we think we're Native American, we think we're, you know, the tribe. You know what I mean? So we got so much confusion, and that's done on purpose. You ever wondered what it's like for other nations? The Chinese don't have that issue. The Arabs do not have that issue. The East Indians do not have that issue. But we have that problem. We do not know who we are, and that's done on purpose, man, to keep us under captivity of this oppressor. As long as we don't wake up and come back to serving the Lord, then you know they will keep holding on to us, man. Damn right, Ernaba. They are the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. The oppressor, the so-called white man, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And all you fake Israelite groups out there, man, like Christ said it, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. You know, it's funny. Y'all come at us about conspiracy theories, right? Because we're 501c3, because we told people to get, you know, not be afraid of the vaccine and think we're something evil, and you think we're agents, you know, against Christ. When the reality is, y'all are the agents against Christ. Y'all are the agents set up by Satan to keep people from coming in here with us and actually serving Christ, because none of y'all serve Christ. None of y'all follow Christ, man. And the proof of that is in all your scandals and all your issues that come up, man. The fact that y'all defend John the Baptist, when we say John the Baptist was not in the truth because he did not follow Christ, y'all take issue with that because y'all don't have the truth, man. Hey, Mariah, hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shema, Allah Tabah, Shemi Awashai. You know what I mean? So that's the reality of it, man. So, you know, shout out everybody, man. The water, man, of course, tune in. So, you know, of course, if follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, like, share, subscribe. You know, and keep tuning in, man. Keep tuning into this, man. Sis, Olivia, they keeping confusion in the air. That's what they're agents of. They're the agents, man. They're the whatever they want to say we are, that's what they are, man. They over here to cause confusion and keep us lost, man, with the nonsense that they teach, man. How are you gonna say you follow Christ and you teaching it's okay to rape? How are you gonna say you follow Christ and you teach it's okay to join the white man's military and join his police force, and then teach that it's okay to hand over your brother to the police? You know what I mean? And Salakia, Israel, bear with me 1 second. I'm on Jeremiah 15:33. Salakia, Israel. Just give me 1 second. You know what? You go ahead and there might be one. And I know sweat out. Jeremiah 15:33, right? That's what I brought out, man. So as I was telling them, you know, of course, the water for showing up. Got the brother Ramak right here, you know, with me. We were talking about, you know, Jeremiah 15:33, Ramak, you know what I mean, and talking about how the children of Judah and the children of Israel were oppressed together, right? And that those that held them captive refused to let them go, right? America today, right, does not want to let so-called blacks and Hispanics go. You know, and the way they do that, one of the tactics that they use, right, Ramak, is that they give us so many bywords and terms to keep us confused, man, like African American, Mexican, Latino, Hispanic, Native American, indigenous, right? All these terms to keep us confused. Meanwhile, when you look at other nations, they don't have that issue. Asians do not have an issue with being, you know, with what their identity is, right? But us, right? We got so many. You ask 10 people their identity, and you get 10 different answers. You know, so that's what we're going over, man. But yeah, so like I told you Jeremiah 15:33, but I already covered it. You could go to Deuteronomy 28 and 36, right? We'll go right there.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee, and thy king which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
God. So go read the next one.
And there shall they serve other gods, wood and stone.
So that's part of the tactics the oppressor uses, right? The wood and stone, right? Like serving other gods, basically the other religions. Let me say this, man. Let me get confirmation on it, Ramak. But I would go as far to say that that's what these fake Israelite groups are, man. Wow. They said, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they were set up by the oppressor to get us to serve the other gods of wood and stone, because they're not. When you join those other groups, man, you're not serving the God of the Bible. Right. You know what I mean? You're not serving the Most High, but you are serving another God. You know, we know who the God of them purple, you know, them purple pigs is. Right. You know what I mean? The white man is their God. Yeah. You're serving the white man when you join them fake Israelite groups, man. Yeah, right. You know, so that's the reality of it, man. So keep reading out.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment and proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
So, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee, right? So that's what I was talking about. All the terms we have which cause confusion, right? Like I said, Latino, Hispanic, Black, African American, Negro. You know what I mean? What's the new term? FBA, Foundational Black American, right? Now you have a FLA, Foundational Latino American. You know what I mean? So many terms carnal, to keep us confused, man.
Right.
And people come against us, Ramak. People got an issue with us with that 12 tribes chart. When instead of complicating things, we simplify it, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I will not.
Y'all over here like following all these different, terms, right? And identities when we're giving it to you straight and keeping it simple, man. There is no Latino and Hispanic. There is no Black and African American, man. There's Judah, there's Benjamin, there's Levi, which is when the Bible's talking about right here, the children of Judah and the children of Israel pressed together. The children of Judah were consisted of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, right. So-called blacks, West Indians, Haitians, right, on our 12 tribes chart. And then the children of Israel, right, being oppressed together. Israel is Issachar, Gad, Ephraim, right, your Native Americans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricanos, right, Zebulon, your Hondureños, your Guatemaltecos, you know what I mean, the gente from Nicaragua, the Venezuelans, and so on, from Latino America to South America, like is all the indigenous. Let me clear this up, right? Because people try to come at us when I'm talking about these people, man. I'm talking about people of indigenous and Negro descent. You know what I mean? We're not talking about Europeans and when, of course, we know not all Mexicans are Israelites. So if you're a Asian, living in Mexico and you call yourself Mexican, you're not from the tribe of Issachar. Right. If you're a Spaniard living in Mexico, you're not from the tribe of Issachar. If you're Asian, you're from the nation of Moab, and if you're a Spaniard, you're from the nation of Edom, of Esau.
Right.
So of course, because that this just I know right now with everything going down, Ramak, like it's the whole thing with these tactics these fake Israelites do, right? And Christians, they try to throw, oh, well, you want to say Mexicans and majority of Mexicans are of Spanish descent, this and that. Nah, man, we're not trying to say Spaniards. You know what I mean? We're not trying to graft in all these other nations that call themselves Mexican by nationality. We're talking about indigenous people, man. And the only reason why, we use the term Mexican is because a lot of indigenous people were stripped of their identity and culture, man. Just like, black people were stripped of their identity and culture when they came over here, which goes back to Deuteronomy 28 and 27, 37. You shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, And of course, the biggest one is illegal immigrant, Ramak. Of course, I'm gonna ask you this, Ramak. What people comes to mind when you hear the term illegal immigrant? Right. And then there's another group, right, that's also in there with the illegal immigrants. There you go, Haitians. So there you go, black and brown are under that term. You know what I mean? And we know who the true illegal immigrant is the so-called white man. It's all these other nations. They're here illegally, man, because they came over here on stolen land. The white man, came over here and connived his way, swindled his way into stealing the land. Everyone likes to say, that they took over, they won the land fair and square, and they it's because they were better than us. Nah, man. The only reason why the so-called white man was able to win and take over this land is because we didn't have brotherhood amongst us, right? You can speculate the religions of the indigenous tribes, right? You can speculate and assume that they worship nature and they did this and that. We'll never know what they did. We'll never know what they followed or how or what they practice, right? Everything is a hypothesis and a guess. But what we do know for sure, right, is that the tribes were not united. They didn't have brotherhood. Right. And the proof of that isn't because it's written right there in history how the oppressor was able to use tribes against one another. We go with with the story of the Mexica, right? Of course, everyone knows them as the Aztecs, but there was another tribe, right, that the Aztecs were enemies of that teamed up with the Spaniards. The Tlaxcalas, man. I might be saying that wrong, but that was an enemy of the Aztecs, of the Mexica, that teamed up with the Spaniards. See, they didn't have, instead of teaming up with the Mexica, they teamed up with the Spaniards. And that's how the Spaniards were able to win, man. And that's just one, that's the same story amongst all of the so-called Americas. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I would say it sounds like the same story dealing with the IUIC.
Right.
Teaming up, with the white man, with the police.
Right.
Come against their brothers.
Right.
No brother. That's how you know that all you guys see it ain't got no brotherhood in there.
God, nah, they got no brotherhood, man. And it comes out, and all of them got no brotherhood. You know what I mean? Everybody, you know, before you think that we just trying to single out IUIC, all of y'all, all of you fake Israelite groups have no brotherhood. And where's the proof? The proof is y'all tell on yourselves. Y'all make documentaries, you know, exposing each other. Y'all have constant issues, and you bring it out and show that y'all have no brotherhood. The way y'all conduct yourselves, you know, that's not us boasting. That's not us being on no arrogance. Y'all tell on yourselves, you know, we follow Christ, and we have a protocol set in here for when brothers have issues with one another and how to handle that. You know, y'all, I mean, I don't know what y'all do out there. That's why we have to give that disclaimer, because in here we know who's who, and we know how to handle, you know, how to handle the situation. We have the protocol set in place. Out there, there's no protocols. There's nothing, man. So anyone can be anything. We don't know you, you know. So that's the reality of it. But let's keep going into the topic with Mark. So, like, you know, I'm trying to stay on the topic, man. But you know, we had that incident, man. You know, I want to shout out the brothers in Texas, you know, for what they did. Because, you know, let's bring up the story. I got this story right here from Mark. See if I can share on the screen, because I want to show something here. This is heavy. I don't know if you heard about it, man. This happened this week, right? With what the NAACP did, right? I don't know if you heard they issued a travel advisory, you know, like for African Americans to not travel to the state of Florida, right? Because they're saying that Florida does not value Black lives. You know, and that's heavy, because just last week, Florida was issuing some of the strictest immigration policies targeting so-called Hispanics, right? Yeah. Targeting raza. So, you know, that's what's crazy. It's like same state and two instances of, you know, this. I got the article right here. I mean, I'll read it for time's sake, man, you know. It says, it's titled this, and this is for CNN. Beware, your life is not valued. NAACP travel advisory warns Florida is openly hostile toward African Americans. You know, why I bring the story out first, right? Because, you know, people always be on their colorism, but because this is just to show something, man. You know what I mean? To show the point. So we got the new story. Let me see if I can play this real quick. Look at this.
I'm going to pull over and stretch my legs.
Of course, man. They got to throw ads and everything, man.
I'm going to pull over and stretch my legs.
I think he was supposed to keep left there.
What is this place?
The other side of the rest stop.
Bundles as far as the eye can see.
If you're looking for a first mate, I know a guy. Me, I'm the guy.
Come on, man. So,
4 types of jerky.
They're saying they're banning African American studies in the class, man.
Your boat or RV with your home and auto.
Hey guys, free bags! They're just giving them away.
We need paper. We need our pencils.
Darren Williams is taking these students on a journey through Black history of the early 20th century.
The Great Migration, Harlem Renaissance, and jazz.
Williams is teaching the inaugural course in AP Africa.
So I'm going to stop it right there. He said the Great Migration, man. What's he talking about? I don't know if you remember hearing that remark about what they did. Like, they wanted to change the slave trade to the Great Migration. That's crazy. That you know, and of course he has to, you know, he doesn't want to teach it like that. In there, he wants to teach the truth, but they, you know, of course he's on their pay grade, so he probably has to say it like that. You can only imagine, you know, what that does to your spirit.
African American Studies at McLean High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, alongside Shekinah Hall, teaching a second class.
All these folks are going to be in their own ways, documenting and creating Black culture.
McLean is one of just 60 schools in 33 states across the country teaching this new AP class.
Their culture now begins to take a different shape, and it causes a rebirth
of African American society in Harlem, New York.
McLean High School is located in a city where the lessons of Black history were long hidden.
Here along the street, all of these plaques mark where businesses once stood.
There will be banks, there will be grocery stores.
We walked with Mr. Williams and Miss Hall in the historic Greenwood neighborhood of Tulsa, the site of one of the worst race massacres in U.S. history. A once thriving Black community known as Black Wall Street. It was burned to the ground in 1921, and as many as 300 residents were murdered by a white mob.
And there's generations and generations of Oklahoma residents who were never told about this.
Yeah, it was history that was hidden.
What does teaching this class mean to you?
I want students to know that African American history is American history. It is world history.
We're there to make sure that we're educating our students, that we are being a force for them.
But the AP African American Studies class has drawn criticism from some conservative political leaders, like Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who has rejected the class in Florida.
We believe in teaching kids facts and how to think, but we don't believe they should have an agenda imposed on them.
The College Board, which sets the curriculum, made some changes to.
So basically, learning about your history, right? Learning about what America did to you is an agenda. But, you know, when a Jewish man when you learn about the Holocaust, why? How come that's not an agenda? Right. When you learn about, you know, the all the other nations and what they go through, how come that's not an agenda? Right. And you know, for everyone, you know, like thinking, oh, well, especially Mexicans think, oh, well, that's not my problem. That's Black people. Yeah. This is the same story for Raza. I'm going to pull that article out too, about how the state of Arizona is banning Mexican history from their curriculums. Same thing, for both groups. America does not want Mexicans and does not want Black people learning their history. Right. They want Mexicans and Black people to learn American history, to learn how great Americans are, to learn how great America is, man. Now, what they always push for, America's the greatest country on the earth, man. Right. You know what I mean? Greatest country ever. We're free and we can do this and that. And if you don't like it, you can leave. That's what they tell you. Meanwhile, you know, when it's them, then they're not told, you know, that no one tells them that if they don't like it, they can leave. No one tells them, you know, that they're being ungrateful, because that's what they tell us. They tell us we're being ungrateful and we're, you know, shitting where we're eating, you know, like, pardon my French. But, you know, like, just everyone comes against us when we start speaking out and bringing out the truth, right? And to say that, you know, learning about, you know, the atrocities America did to you is some kind of agenda, like, this is why you're the devil that the Bible speaks of, because you're denying a people, you know, their history. You're denying a people, you know, the one with the agenda is not the history class. You have the agenda. Because what you're basically showing and demonstrating is that the school system is an indoctrination camp, right? That's what it is, man. The school system is a brainwashing, you know, factory, whatever you want to call it, right? To manipulate you and to get you to love America and not love your people. That's why that's why now you can start seeing as to why there's no brotherhood and unity amongst Black and brown. Right. Because we don't know our history. We don't know our identity. Right. We're denied. We're taught how great America is. We're taught how great the so-called white man is. Right. You know what I mean? And hence, we think they're great. We look at ourselves and we're reduced to know that we were just slaves. Right. That we were just weak and they were better than us and stronger than us. You know, and of course we're taught that they're God and this and that. And hence we love them. We want to win their love. We respect them, but we don't love our own. We don't respect our own. And things like this is the reason why, man.
The course for the state's consideration, but also says the political criticism has moved from healthy debate to misinformation.
Good morning, good morning.
McLean High School principal Renee Rabowski says she jumped at the chance to run this pilot program. She's worked at this predominantly Black high school for 8 years, and says her school needs this class. Florida has banned this class. Do you worry that the same can happen here?
I try very hard not to live in that place. The optimist in me says no, but the realist in me says, of course I'm fearful. Of course I am.
How come blues and jazz are not the same thing? Because blues is jazz's mother.
Students say the class has brought history to life in a way they've never experienced before.
I feel like if we embraced it, we would be more together and we would be more understanding.
Like we learned about way more people, not just Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X. We learned way more about slaves and all that.
So do you guys feel like you're kind of like the torchbearers? Or
So we'll stop that one and cue this one next, because like I said, we're gonna show right how the children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together. Now we're gonna show Arizona.
Activity software where you can manage everything and anything. 5 years after the Mexican-American Studies ban in TUSD, a legal victory tonight for those who fought to restore the program.
A federal judge has ruled racism was the basis for state school officials working to shut down the MAS program. Judge Wallace Takashima ruled the state violated the First Amendment rights of TUSD's Mexican-American students. 2 former state superintendents succeeded in getting a state law that compelled the district to eliminate all classes, curriculum, and course material. David Morales is an education activist who has stood behind the MAS program.
It was an uphill battle, but we won. So, but yeah, and
5 years after the Mexican-American Studies ban in TUSD, 5 years after the Mexican-American Studies ban in TUSD, a legal victory tonight for those who fought to restore the program. A federal judge has ruled racism was the basis for state school officials working to shut down the MAS program.
So they tried to ban it in Arizona, right, Ramak? They tried to ban Mexican-American studies, and it got brought out that racism is the reason behind it. Now, what is the reason why DeSantis doesn't want to wants to ban African American studies? What is the reason why all these conservative states are banning the studies? Because of racism, right? This is what this exposes right here, and this shows you that America is a racist country. The government is a racist government, man. It's a white supremacist government. They brought it out right here. You know what I mean? And of course, people are gonna, try to not purposely not pay attention, but it's right there.
Judge Wallace Takashima ruled the state violated the First Amendment rights of TUSD's Mexican-American
And here's
students.
the other part to that. They violated the state's First Amendment right? You don't have no rights in America, black men and brown men and women. You don't have freedom of speech. There's a story that happened, right? Ramak at Dodger Stadium, right? You had a brown brother, man, rock a Dodgers hat, right? And of course, he had on the hat FLAPD. Of course, he got kicked out, but it comes to show you that you don't have freedom of speech if you're brown. It wasn't because his hat said FLAPD. It's because it was a brown man wearing that hat. And why? Because of all the experiences brown men have had with the police. Nobody asked why he was wearing that hat. You know what I mean? And then the sad part, Ramak, is that everyone was, even our own, especially our own, were teaming up against the brother. We're teaming up. When I made that comment that, that if you brown, you don't have freedom of speech, everyone came at me, Ramak, started throwing insults, started saying I'm ungrateful, everything I told you, right? And that's the proof. Then started justifying it, saying, well, you're on private property. Your rights only exist on government property. What people don't realize is that you're proving the point that private property, right, that private organization is taking away your right. You just admitted that you don't have free speech. How many times they try to get us they try to shut down our accounts, Vermont? You know what I mean? IUIC is proof you don't have freedom of speech in America, because they don't like what you say. They try to come and shut down your camp. You know what I mean? IUIC is proof you don't have freedom of religion, because they will go to your church. They will go to your whatever organization, whatever movement you got. The IUIC is the proof that you don't even have the right to be upset, because they go to your to whatever demonstration you have for any atrocity and say it's your fault. Say that you don't have the right to get mad about what was done to you. You deserved it. That's what they do. Isn't that something? You don't have free. You're not free in America, black man and brown man.
Right.
You're a slave.
Right.
And that's why this is the proof. I want to talk about you're free. You don't have free. You're not allowed to learn Mexican American history, man. You're not allowed to learn African American history. And you want to tell me we're not oppressed? You want to tell me that black and brown are not oppressed together?
Two former state superintendents succeeded in getting a state law that compelled the district to eliminate all classes, curriculum, and course material. David Morales is an education activist who has stood behind the MAS program.
It was an uphill battle, but we won. So, but you know, unfortunately, that means that we were victims of racism here, and that for years students have been denied this successful program.
So now the next step, the judge will hold hearings on what the remedy should be.
I don't know if it ever got solved, Doc, but you know, it's just you see the connection, you know what I mean? Oak Group's going through the same thing, man. If you could, Ramak, go to the book. We're on Deuteronomy, right? Go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. I think it's verse 44.
Come on, sir.
Come on, whenever you got it.
Chapter 28 and verse 44.
Or Salak, you know, that's not it.
48.
Not 48. It's for the man that is tender among thee, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother. Might be 54 Khan. The water.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Right. So the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. Man, you see that going on, man. Like when people try to come at you and try to shut you up because you're speaking out against, you know, what this oppressor is doing. Right. That's the man that is tender, you know, that is tender among you and very delicate, and his eye being evil towards his brother. Why? Because they're scared. Because they're scared of this oppressor, man. Yeah. It's been in what's that term? Generational trauma, right? Where the slaves would go through what they go through, and then the overseers, right, would come and beat all the slaves, right? Punish all the slaves for one standing up. So hence that fear is put in. And now when one of the slaves is getting angry and wants to, speak up, they shut him up real quick. That's what's been inbred in. That's generational trauma. Right. And that's what's going on. Of course, now let me show, Florida's immigration policies, man. Because we were talking about DeSantis. Right, and how first he's banning the studies from Florida, saying an agenda, which the situation in Arizona shows it's racism. He was actually what he was doing, right? Is he was taking immigrants, right, by busloads to the blue states, right? So all the men were coming here, man, and he was rounding them up and taking them over there, man. Go ahead, Doc.
I was talking to a brother earlier today. I think he was telling me, I want to say he was just basically telling me, I forgot what city it was. He was saying basically how they measured a drop in so-called immigrants out there.
So you think you know Wicks? Do you
Con? look at this. I just came across this article right here. Facing South Florida, how is DeSantis' immigration policy impacting Haitian and Cuban communities? You know what I mean? What we say, Jeremiah 15:33, man, the children of Israel and the children of Judah are oppressed together. No, like you want proof that you're an Israelite, man. All you got to do is turn on the news. All you got to do is look at the suffering of your people and learn the Bible, right? Have it properly broken down to you, and you'll see the scriptures. That like we don't have to do the go to the archaeology. I mean, it helps, right? Looking at the archaeology, the history, and everything. But people like to argue that, right? People like to argue that things like the Los Lunas stone, the Back Creek stone, is all fake, right? But you know what's not fake? This immigration policy from DeSantis was not fake. America coming over here, right? Slavery is not fake. The crisis at the border is not fake. Right. The prison population for both black and brown, that's not fake. Right. That can't be debunked. You're gonna try and debunk that? Right. You know what I mean? Calling black and brown men super predators, that's not fake. So you want the proof that we're Israelites, man? Just look at your oppression, black man and brown man. But I found this man. Let's check this article out. Of course, this is a long video, so we're just gonna see the beginning of it.
Facing South Florida with Jim DeFede.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Welcome to Facing South Florida. Jim DeFede is off this week. Big developments in immigration policy after Title 42, which kept undocumented migrants out of the country, expired. Governor Ron DeSantis signed a strict new immigration law with tough requirements and penalties for migrants and employers. I'll speak with two immigration advocates this morning. The first one is Vanessa Joseph, an immigration attorney in North Miami who works with Haitian migrants fleeing violence and the lack of economic opportunities in their country.
The reaction by Haitians and the Haitian community at large, Haitian Americans included,
so what we
Americans of
Haitian
Haitian
about
descent,
the Haitians, right?
is that there is yet again another attack on Black immigrants, and more specifically in this case, Haitian immigrants, are really looking at these policies, these laws, and asking themselves, well, what is it about us? Right, that makes us such a problem that all these laws would have to come out, and many of which affect Haitian immigrants and specifically Black immigrants, because no person who is racially profiling folks and asking folks to see their papers, as we know is essentially what SB 1718 is asking. Nobody's going to stop you. A police officer is not going to stop you. A law enforcement official is not going to stop you and say, this Black person looks like he's Haitian or looks like he's from a different country. They're profiling everyone. They're profiling, including Hispanic folks, people who they believe to look different, to look Hispanic, to look like an immigrant.
So you hear what she's saying. Now, they're profiling not just Black people, but Hispanic people, people who look Hispanic, people who look Black. You know what I mean? Right. Both groups are facing that. She's not saying people who look Asian. You know what I mean? She's not saying people who look Middle Eastern. Yeah. But it is Black and it is Hispanic.
And what does an immigrant actually look like? It looks like all of us. And so these
let me stop her right there and correct her. I'll tell you what an immigrant looks like. He's blonde hair and blue-eyed. Right. And he comes from Europe. That's what an immigrant looks like, man. Most High in Christ. You know what I mean? An illegal alien. You're the illegal aliens, man. Right. You're the wetbacks. You're the fresh out the boat. You know that's why we say the white man is the devil, man, because he calls, and of course Asians are not Israelites, but we will say this. They use that racial slur towards them when they're the ones fresh out the boat. Right. How did your ancestors get over here, white man? Y'all got over here on boats. You call us wetbacks for crossing a river. Y'all crossed the whole ocean. Right. That's why you're the devil the Bible speaks of, man. Yeah, right. Khan, sis, the white man. Khan Halak Nathaniel a cop, man. Nasty Nate is a cop, man, and he was, exposed for locking up innocent black men. Right. Look, this is my take on it, Ramak. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I would not be surprised because IUIC isn't trying to be in Mexico. I would not be surprised that you see a lot of them cats, are border patrol agents. A lot of them are crooked, Mexican police, the federales. You're gonna find. Do not be surprised you find that out, man. You find out that they behind, that they locking up brown men. The way Nathaniel and them were, locking up black men. I mean, that's just, I'm not saying that with all the proof in the world or that's happening 100% certainty. But only thing I'm saying is I would not be surprised if that comes out and it's found out that that's what they're doing, man. Because them purple, pigs is out there, man. I gotta watch what I say, right language, but what I really want to say, but
policies, these bills, these laws, when they take effect, they have extremely detrimental effects, not only on our communities of immigrants, but all of our communities at large. And we're actually regressing as communities.
Well, I want to ask you about some of the specifics in the Florida law. For example, businesses with 25 or more employees must use E-Verify, a registration system run by the Department.
Want to know how racist Florida is? Look at this, Ramak. I don't know if you saw the video circulating online, man, of the Walmart employee that didn't want to refund a Hispanic man's his purchase. You know what I mean? See, racist worker. This is Walmart worker in Florida, right? Because this. Let's see, we got it right here. Oh, okay. Let's see. Might not be able to find the video, man. It was all over like Instagram. I think it was circulating, but it was a Hispanic brother, right? A brown brother, and he was trying to refund something, and the lady was asking him for his, for his immigration papers and stuff, saying that they can't refund him the money because he's not like, what in the hell? Like when did your money require immigration papers, man? Like you buy something, you devils go out to Mexico. I don't think they're asking you for your immigration papers. You know what I mean? When you buy something, but all of a sudden, let's see if I can find it. Of course, you have the shopping while black. Of course, that's an everyday occurrence, and that's the other side of it, Ramak. Because I teach ISUPK Mexico, classes for ISUPK Mexico, and the other part of that is that the indigenous people of Mexico, just like black people get followed around grocery stores here, indigenous people in Mexico, when they go to stores like Walmart and shops, they get followed around out there. They get racially profiled out there, man. So that's like, it's more than a coincidence, man. It's because you're both the Lord's chosen people. You're both Israelites, and you're going to suffer this oppression. If you could, go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 48. Now we'll go to verse 48. Go ahead, whenever you got it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So it says, thou shalt serve thy enemies, right? In hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. And that's the other part I wanted to touch on. People read this, Christians read this and think, that means we should only blame ourselves. Yeah. That we shouldn't hate this oppressor, or be angry, when that's not what that means. Yes, our ancestors messed up, right? And we're suffering, but that doesn't mean we're supposed to love our oppressor. Right. The reason why that happened is because we didn't have brotherhood, because we didn't love the Lord. Right. And y'all proof of that. When y'all say things like that, that it's our own fault, you're showing the Lord that you don't love the Lord. I'm gonna show you why. When you say that we deserve, when you blame the victim, right? And of course, that other term, victim mentality, right? When we had some nut come at us at camp, Ramat, talking about what we're talking about is victim mentality. That we're supposed to be talking about getting money, getting paid, because we were talking about our oppression. And it's like, when y'all do things like that, you're not loving the Lord. And I'm going to show you why. If you could go to the book of John, chapter 4, verse 20. I'm going to go there with you.
The book of John, chapter 4 and verse 20.
Salakia. Is that it? It might be 1 John 4 and 20, Salakia. I think you know which one I'm going to what. There we go. This is it right here. No sweat out. 1 John 4 and 20. Because this is what when you tell when if you're black, and let me say this before we get into the precept, right? If you're black or brown, right, and you speak against black and brown people, talking about their oppression, talking about an atrocity done to them, and you're trying to silence them, you don't love them. When you try to silence the victim, when you blame the victim, you're showing that you're not on the side of the victim. You're showing that you're against the victim and you don't love the victim. You're showing you have no sympathy and no compassion for the victim, right? And like I said, love goes in there, right? You don't love them. So you got it out? Go ahead.
1 John 4 and 20. If a man say, I love God, and hated his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen?
So instead of supporting your brother, right, when they're speaking up about something done wrong, because to him, and not just him, but you, that includes you, because he's talking about his people, right? Something done wrong to him and his people. You're showing that you don't love him. Right. And of course, I'm sure the religion that a lot of y'all follow, right? Y'all claim to love God. You're Christians, right? You go to church every Sunday and you sing them gospel songs, and you make food for the pastor and do all types of things. You pay your tithes to the church. But when your fellow brother, a fellow black or brown man, speaks up about something done wrong to your people, and you go and silence him, try to attempt to silence him, try to ridicule him, try to, side with your oppressor against him, you're showing that you don't love him.
Right.
And you're showing that you're a hypocrite. Keep reading out.
Verse 21.
Salaki, let me get. For he that loveth not his brother who he have seen, how can he love God who he have not seen, right? Because you don't love your brother. How can you who you see every day? You see that black or brown man every day trying to speak up, trying to fight for his people, needing your support, needing your backup, and you don't stand with him. You hate him. Well, this is what the scriptures say. How can you love God who you have not seen, right? You say you love God, but you won't stand with your brother. Go now read the next verse.
And his commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God loveth his brother also. Because to love God is to love your brother as yourself.
Right.
I believe that one is what John. The first is that John 13, John 12 and 13. Let me see. I'm gonna go there. Might be Matthew. For this is it right. For this is the greatest commandment of all. Yeah, you're right. It might be Matthew. Well, but you get what I'm trying to say. The greatest commandment is to love your brother as yourself. Yeah, Matthew 22:36. Right? Now we're going to show more of what it means to love your brother as yourself. Like, this is a brotherhood class, so this is why the UPK serves the Lord, right? And why we follow Christ, which goes over a lot of you fake Israelite groups' heads, man. Go ahead, I read it.
Matthew 22.
36.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
Keep reading.
Christ said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
So the disciples that's talking to them, or the Pharisees, they're asking them, right? The Pharisees are talking to them, right? The Pharisees are talking to them and asking them, Master, which is the greatest commandment of all? They're being, what is it, condescending? Is that the term? Passive aggressive? They didn't really see him as a master, but they're asking him, what's the greatest commandment of all? Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Keep going on.
Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Right. Now go read the next verse.
40. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
So on this hang all the law and the prophets, right? Because that is what it means to love your brother as, to love the Lord. To love the Lord is to love your brother as thyself.
Right.
Right. Now, let's prove that neighbor, right, is talking about, because Christians, right, when they hear neighbor and they hear, love thy neighbor as thyself, they think that means love the white man.
Right.
That means love anybody. But they don't teach you what it means. There's a context to neighbor. Let's go to Leviticus. I believe it's 19 and 20. Or 19 and 18.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19.
Salak, verse 17, 19 and 17.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Right? Yeah, now you're getting a clue to what it means. Keep going.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor. So we know that brother and neighbor are synonymous with each other.
Right.
Keep going out.
And not suffer sin upon him.
And not suffer sin upon him, right? And what is sin, Ramat?
Transgression of the law.
Khan. Keep reading verse 18.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
The children of who?
Thy people.
The children of thy people, Israelites.
Right.
Keep reading that.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love who?
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So when Christ was saying this, remember, during the time of Christ, and that's one thing, right? This is one of the greatest myths out there. People think that I thought this when I was in the church. I thought that, Christ was reading from Matthew when at the same time it's talking about him. I didn't know that, Christ was reading from the Old Testament. That's what he was reading during his time, because the book of Matthew did not exist at that time.
Right.
Mark did not exist. Luke, John, everything in the New Testament did not exist. It wasn't written yet, right? This was written after him. So Christ was referencing Leviticus, right? Go ahead.
So he was seeing him he knew who the Bible was already.
Yeah, he knew the Bible was for his people, man. He knew it was his, and all the Israelites knew that then. They knew that the Bible was their book. Go ahead.
So like, you know, I was saying, like, so, like, you know, in the scripture when it said Christ, how he was talking to him, but, you know, like, when, you know, I was talking about, like, you know, a king coming and dying for our, you know, dying for the people. Was he was reading that, like, he knew that was him at the time he was reading it, right?
Khan, you talking about Isaiah?
Yeah.
Khan. He knew it, man. Yeah, Cat Gadahar brought that out last Thursday, man.
Yeah.
He brought that out, how, you know, he was reading that. I think Cat Tazariak brought it out too, like how Christ knew, like, you know, like the way he knew he had the knowledge he had is because from the Bible. Right. He knew that Bible back in, you know, from front to back, you know, reading the scriptures. So what's that? Anyone says, I am the Lord, right? Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So when Christ was talking about, you know, that greatest commandment to love thy neighbor as thyself is talking about your brother, an Israelite. It's not talking about the so-called white man. It's not talking about, you know, every other nation. It's talking about your people, black and brown, right? And it's talking about y'all. So when y'all hear, you know, your brother speaking up, your carnal speaking up about some issue, have some love for that brother and try not to silence. The scriptures say this: be quick to hear and slow to speak. Hear his cause out and don't try to publicly ridicule him. Don't try to silence him and try to make him look dumb in front of everybody to appease master. Because no matter how hard you try to, you know, hate your brother, no matter how hard you try to hate Mexicans, hate black people, hate Native Americans, you will never gain the respect of America. You will never gain the respect of the so-called white man.
That's right.
They will never bring you in as one of them. They'll bring you in as a clown, as a sideshow,
right,
an amusement, as the token. You want to be a token? That's not a good thing, man. You know what I mean? It's not a good thing to be the token black man or the token brown man. You're out there basically doing a minstrel show. You know what I mean? For them. That's why you're with your white friends and they ask you everything about black people and everything about Mexicans so they can make fun of you, man. So they can get amused and think of how low you are. And they get a kick out of you trying to be like them. That's why they do it, man. When you get that white woman or you know what I mean, and you showing her off, you know what I mean, and you're going to meet her parents, she's using you as a token. She hasn't even got love for you.
Right.
She's using you as a statement to prove that she's not racist. That's all she's using you for. Same thing, vice versa, for you, you know, brown and black women that want to get with white men.
Right.
You get with that white man, he gonna, you know, when he gets mad, y'all have an argument, he's gonna beat the living daylights out of you, man. And unalive you, Ramak. That's the new term we use. Unalive. Gonna murder you. You're gonna be found dead, man. I brought stories out, I think, last time about sisters that went missing at the hands of these oppressors because they get with oppressors.
Yeah.
I think sisters living out in Colombia or somewhere, you know, they meet this white boy and thinking, you know, he's their meal ticket, and yeah, something happens and they're missing. Can't find them. You know what I mean? Love that brown man, love that black man, and love that brown woman and love that black woman, man. You know, that's what should be done. All right, not Salakia. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 28:48. And I kind of sidebar real quick, but because I wanted to get into what it means, right? Why does this happen? It was on like 49, 48, right at the end of 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Khan. So the Lord shall, you know, bring a nation against thee from far, from the other end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. Now, Governor DeSantis, what is he? He's American, right? He's of Italian descent, right? But he's an American. He's an Edomite. the raza doesn't understand his language when they come over here. They don't understand his English and the terms he uses, you know.
Yeah.
But let me simplify some more. When these Europeans came over here, right? He's of Italian descent. Christopher Columbus was Italian, you know, and you know that they did not understand the language of the conquistadors when they came over. Go ahead, Al. He was Portuguese, Italian, something, but he was from out there. But no, he was not. As a matter of fact, it's brought out that he's an Amalekite. He was an Amalekite, Jewish. That he knew about this land, right? And this is brought out in the 12 Tribes lecture. But he knew about this land because he studied the Bible, like Second Ezra and everything, and he knew that God's chosen people was over here. And of course, him being an Edomite, you know, is coming over here. He knew that enslaving the Lord's people is how you get a great empire. That's what you know. People don't put two and two together. That all these great empires, you go, you know, the other side of the world, and you look at the ruins of Egypt, the ruins of Rome, of Greece, of Babylon. They all had one thing in common. They all had the Lord's people in captivity.
Right.
And people do not, and once again, these nations knowing, it's not that they don't know history, you know, because what's the saying, remark, that people who don't know history are doomed to repeat it? I'm going to say this, man. It's not that they don't know the history. It's that they want their shot. You know what I mean? And they think that, you know, they can get over on the Lord. They think they can fool the Lord. That's really what it is. Because they hate God. They hate God. They hate the Israelites.
Right.
They want to be on top. You know? Hey, Nataza Yaba Maf. Hey, Shalom Makia Bashim Shabrakata. Olivia Arnold, try and break their generational curses. Bring home a black man. Khan, sis. You know what I mean? Bring home that black or brown man, you know? We break these generational curses by coming in here, keeping the commandments. If you could, Ramah, go to Deuteronomy 28:1, right? Because here's the solution to all that.
Oh, God. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
And it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Right now, me teaching this class, right? Us at camp, hearing the general speak, hearing a priest of the Lord telling you the remedy. That's the voice of the Lord thy God. That's not me pretending to be God. That's not me saying anything. We're the voice of the Lord because we're reading God's words to you. We're breaking it down to you and telling you what you should do. To observe and to do all his commandments, right? That's what we do here in the ISUPK. We tell you to observe and to do all the commandments which the Lord commands of us till this day. That's why when your church, and I understand, you know, the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, they don't teach the Bible correctly, carnal. They don't teach the truth, right? They tell you the law's done away with. They tell you that, you know, all you got to do is go to confession and you know, do, I don't know, 30 Hail Marys, some BS like that, and you're good. But what they're not telling you is to love your brother as yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm going to show you before we go, what it means to love your brother, because love is an action. It's not just saying you love your brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? But keep going. The commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Read verse 2, carnal.
Come. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, and if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord. Let me read that.
No, you good. No sweat.
All these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
All these blessings shall come unto thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, right? If you listen to what we're telling you, if you keep these commandments, right? Come to class, learn the truth, man. Learn how to properly love your brother or sister as yourself. Then as a nation, we start doing that, the Lord will set us on high above all nations of the earth. Why do you think right now that we're so low here in America, man? Why do you think we're at the bottom, man? When you hear about so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, we're what's the term? The butt of all jokes. You know, we're demonized, man. We're on primetime TV as criminals, as rapists, everything bad, Ramat. That's what we are. This is why. Go to verse 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Khan. So all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee, man. So you know that's what we have to do, man, is keep the commandments, and we can solve this problem. Love your brother as you love your neighbor as yourself. That's all y'all got to do, man. Y'all got to do all that marching and you know. I'm not saying don't get a gun. I'm not saying don't prepare, stock up on food and water. You should definitely do that, you know, if you can. But more importantly than anything is to learn to love your brother and sister as yourself. Wow. Come together in carnalismo. Come together in brotherhood and sisterhood, because that's how that's what's gonna get us through this. You learned this, Ramak, in Hebrew Academy, right? What was the main lesson of Hebrew Academy? To lean on your brother, right? That's how you survived it. That, you know, and tonight, I'm you know, not to give too much. Go ahead, Out.
Yeah, and this is why we should really be against the Christian church, because the Christian church is taught blacks. It basically like teaches blacks and Hispanic people that everybody is their brother.
Right.
You know, everybody is their neighbor, and it messes up all relationships between each other, because you can't love the oppressor.
Right.
And your brother at the same time.
Let's go to it. Go to that scripture that says you cannot serve two masters. That's in Matthew, right? Man, hey, no sweat. As you can see, this is why I got to sharpen the sword, man. Thou cannot serve two masters. I believe that's in Matthew. Matthew 6:24. I'm gonna borrow it. Right? You can't serve two masters.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon.
Right. You cannot serve God and mammon. You can't serve two masters, right? You love one and you hate the other, man. You know, and that goes back to what happened, Ramat, to what happened on Saturday with them damn purple pigs, man. Right. A lot of you fake Israelite groups, man, y'all on the sidelines talk about you're not with either one. I'm gonna simplify for y'all. Y'all with them. You're with them purple cats. Right. You're not with the ISUPK. First and foremost, man. Because anyone that says, "Oh, we're in the middle, man," like, you know, we're not with either side. Y'all did wrong, this and that. It's funny how opinionated everybody's been. Not all these cats all these clowns, man. That you know want to talk about peace, want to talk about, oh, we should hug it out. What the hell you mean hug it out, man? Let someone do something like that to your loved one and see you want to go hug the assailant. Right. Miss me with that peace talk. Miss me with that kumbaya talk. That kumbaya spirit is antichrist, man. Right. That's what it is. Christ did not come over here to have kumbaya and prayer circles and all that nonsense that goes on, man. Christ was a man of war. The Lord is a man of war, man. And the ISUPK, man, we are men of war.
Damn right.
And once again, man, shout out to the Carnales, man, out there in Kansas City, man, because you know what, man, that damn right. Let's give him a hand, man. It's like I said, man, at least them brothers fought back. You know what I mean? Y'all want to clown and make fun of them You know, they fought back. Your leaders, you know, folded. We seen the videos, man. You go look up the Beale Street incident and see how your leaders folded. All you fake Israelites, man. Y'all folded to them purple cats, man. To them purple. I can't say it. What I want to say, but y'all folded. Bow down to them. They even had y'all properly address Nasty Nate. So don't tell us anything about how our brothers, they did this to our brothers, had them held down. There's nothing y'all can say, man. Y'all got no room to talk, no room to clown the UPK, man. Because them brothers fought back. Something y'all too scared to do, man. So it's a lot. You just, have to say that, man. You cannot serve two masters. You're either with us or you with them. Simple as that.
Right.
If you're conflicted, like thinking, I don't want to fit. Nah, you're with them. You're not with us, and that's okay. Be with them. We're not begging. That's the other thing, Ramon. We're not begging everyone's acceptance. We're not begging anyone's approval, man.
Right.
Marcus Jones, damn right. Hey, Most High in Christ says, hey, Ayar, hey, orale canal, Yabashim Shabrakata. We don't want everyone's approval and everyone to side with us. Right. We're just gonna bring the truth out. Right. The Lord is gonna show who He's with, man. But yeah, not to sidebar too much. It's just because it ties in, and that goes, back to the whole situation with Title 42, with Judah and Israel being oppressed together, because that goes for you Uncle Toms and you Tío Tomases. You don't love black people. You don't love Mexicans if you love America. Right. Straight up. You can't love America and love black people at the same time. Right. You can't love America and love Mexicans at the same time, man. And that's a heavy one. That's gonna hurt a lot of feelings, Ramon. You can't call yourself Mexican American and love Mexicans at the same time. If you call yourself Mexican American, you hate Mexicans. Right. Straight up. There's no such thing as a Mexican American. When you learn the history, when you know the history of why America took this land from Mexico, and why we're calling ourselves that, is America is the enemy of Mexicans. You know what I mean? So you can't love America and call yourself Mexican. Had a clown, I don't know what his name is, some professional UFC fighter or something like that, said he gave the true statement, man. He said, I don't call myself Mexican, I call myself American. So he let it be known where he stood, right? He's a traitor and he's disgusting, but that's the point. He didn't call himself Mexican American. He said he was American. There's no such thing as Mexican American. You either Mexican or you American. Let me simplify, man. You're not white. You're not American. And no matter how much you call yourself Mexican American, America will never see you as American, man.
Right.
Straight up. Let's finish more into this Title 42, carnal. Now, there's a long story, so I didn't want to, play too much of it, but I'm gonna go back into a little bit of Title 42 and what happened in Florida. Florida, Raza's letting it be known. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, a lot of these, man, for time's sake, cannot play them, man. Look.
On the first day, I did $12,000, and that was like, wow, that was cool. It got to the point where I was making $10,000 a month.
These ads, man,
we gotta see the thing I love most about Kajabi is it's all in one place, and it's really simple. I don't have to go anywhere else for my emails. I don't have to go anywhere else for my web.
For decades, South Florida has been home to migrants, and many times they do work that others may not want to do or are able to do. But a new immigration crackdown by the Florida legislature and Governor Ron DeSantis is now making it harder for them to live and work in the state.
And even though the policy is not yet in effect, CBS News Miami's Gabriela Arzola shows us how it has already shaken the undocumented community along with employers they work for.
A recent survey from the Migration Policy Institute says there are around 800,000 undocumented immigrants right here in the state of Florida, many taking jobs like construction and agriculture. But that makes
Yeah, man, Issachar's heavy in the construction. Zebulon's heavy in the construction. I was talking about this with brothers, right? At my slavery, there's Edomites that are foremen. I don't know what they call, man. I don't know, you know what the job titles are, but there's Edomites that work the construction, and you can see the difference. So much in the spirit. There was a brother that I saw on the job site, right? And I didn't know he was a brother. I didn't know he was a Kanal. I thought he was an Edomite because he was a light-skinned brother, man, you know? But I'm seeing the way he's working. This Kanal is hustling, moving. The Edomites, right? And you can tell they're straight. Edomites don't move. They're lazy. They move with such ease. They move like they got nothing to worry about. But this brother, that's like, is this a white boy? This white boy moving fast. He's working hard. And then when I hear him speak, I was like, oh, damn, this is a Kanal right here. You know, and it's like, it makes sense, man. Like, he you know, like, there's two, so you can see the spirit. That's why we don't go off color. We don't go off looks. You look at the spirit on the brother, and you can tell. But that just comes to show you. Esau moves with such ease, man. Like, they move. This is how Esau moves. They move like they're not oppressed. Versus Mexicans and blacks, they got to work like they're oppressed. They got to work to make sure that they don't get fired, have a good reputation at work. And of course, especially, you know, like with the stereotypes that are put, you know, on black men, on Hispanic men. But of course, you know, black men, right? What does it say? Reminds say black men are lazy, right? Black workers are lazy. I'm gonna tell you this, Carnal. Nobody more lazier than Esau. I see it with my own eye. They are lazy. Right. This oppressor at my slavery, slow, chill, all of them are lazy, don't work, don't do anything. And that's why you're the devil the Bible speaks of, because everything you say we are and we do is what you do and what you are. Right. You know? And wanna, you know, what would you deflect? You deflect everything that y'all do on us.
may not be for long.
Around South Florida, labor workers are becoming more and more scarce by the day, according to some employees.
People aren't showing up to work because they're scared of being deported.
And critics say Senate Bill 1718 is to blame.
None of that's much bigger.
According to the bill, businesses could face up to a $10,000 fine per undocumented employee.
Crazy. So $10,000 fine per undocumented employee. And you know what's crazy, Ak, is that the highest number of undocumented immigrants, right? I use that term loosely. It's not even so-called Hispanics. It's not even Haitians. The highest number of undocumented immigrants are Chinese, are East Indians, are Arabs, all the other nations. But we're the ones that get demonized for it, man.
For construction workers like Jose, he says half of the workers are already gone.
Many workers are leaving thinking they're going to be deported, so they're going to other states.
The bill also includes hospitals. Each facility that accepts Medicaid has to submit that person's immigration status. According to the Florida governor's website, taxpayers paid more than $200.
That's crazy, Ak. If you're dying on the hospital bed, you got to give your papers first. It's like I said, man, like the Carnal couldn't even get his money back for the defective product at a Walmart in Florida because he didn't have immigration papers. But man, you want to talk about oppression? That's oppression.
Right.
$126 million in healthcare costs for undocumented migrants.
Con, I bet it is that much, but it's not. Best believe that's not for Mexicans. That's not for Hispanics. That's not for Haitians. You know who's taking advantage of all that? That's y'all. That's you Edomites. That's you Moabites. You Ishmaelites. Y'all the ones that get first dibs on all those programs and access to all that. We don't get a damn thing. But I'll give you all our love. Give you all our hard work, man. And the sister said, she said, under the table work. And we work our asses off, man. Pause. But you know, Cons is wicked.
Last year. Now, working migrants like Huang say they're being threatened daily.
Being threatened daily.
We are being treated like delinquents. They talk about ICE and police, and everything here is just really uncomfortable right now.
God, if you could, read Deuteronomy 28 and is it 49 again? And the want of all things, right? Until you have destroyed thee. I won't put it on the screen. Just read it again. If you could.
That's 48.
Khan says, Olivia Arnold said it. They're not gonna help you if you're dying. Not Khan. Now if if you're dying, you're shot, something happens to you, man, they're not gonna help you.
So you want me to get 48 again?
Yeah, Khan, 28 and 48.
Khan, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness and in want of all things.
They're serving the enemy in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. They come over here, right? Our people come over here in want of all things, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness, right? Keep reading out.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now I'm going to keep playing the story. That's the yoke of iron right there. Threatening them to deport them, mistreating them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that they can get the work out of them.
Right.
That's a yoke of iron. That's slavery. Right. They don't have to use whips. They don't have to, torture you publicly to everybody.
Right.
All they got to do is threaten to fire you, threaten to call ICE, call you all types of names. There's that video out circulating of that devil slapping that sister in the face. You know what I mean? And she came over here for the want of all things, which is that American dream, Mike.
Right.
To come over here, make a living, live better than out there back in Latino America, because America went over there and destabilized all those countries. Says because as that scripture says, right, until thou hast destroyed thee, that America has destroyed Latin America. America has destroyed South America. You think I'm making this up, right? What's that famous line Jeremiah Hyman always says, Ramak? Use your Google machines and look it up for yourself. Right. If you think I'm making this up, man.
The tens of thousands of migrants coming through the Texas border, Governor DeSantis says this bill should deter illegal immigrants from coming to Florida. But for those that are already here, like Maria, she says she'll stay, pray, and continue to work to help her family in hopes that she won't be deported.
The yoke of iron.
Seems impossible, but I just have to pray to God that everything works.
She got to pray, and that's the sad part, Ramak. She has to pray to God, right? When what needs to be done is more than pray. What needs to be done is for Raza to come together in brotherhood and sisterhood. If we had our own, you know what I mean? And this is why we push that. This is why we push the truth. What do we say? We say we want to separate ourselves from America, right? Spiritually, just like the Asians do. You know why an Asian doesn't have to worry about this, about being deported and praying to God that ICE doesn't round her up? because they have their own businesses, their own communities. So all the illegal Asian immigrants they go into Chinatown. They go into Chinatown, they get a job. They don't have to worry about another Chinese turning them in. They don't have to worry about another Vietnamese turning them into ICE. We have to worry about that because we don't have brotherhood and sisterhood. And because we don't have brotherhood and sisterhood, we don't invest in our neighborhoods. We don't invest in our own businesses. We can't build our own system up so that our brothers and sisters, when they come over here, can come with us, work in our businesses. You know what I mean? Have the sponsors, right? Because that's part of what it takes. You got to apply for immigration in your home country, get a sponsor out here in America, and then you get the whole process, right? I mean, I'm not an expert on immigration, but that's like a kind of like from what I heard. You know what I mean? There's no sponsor out here for them, but the Asians have that, the Arabs have that, the East Indians have that.
That happens, this law will take effect July 1st. I'm Gabrielle Arzola, CBS News, Miami.
As the Title 42 immigration policy ends on Thursday, the Biden administration is getting ready to introduce sweeping new restrictions for migrants. CBS News has learned that
there was no sweeping restrictions for Ukrainians, Ramon. There was no sweeping restrictions for Afghans. They got airplane tickets and Airbnbs. But for Mexicans, this is what happens.
Migrants who cross the southern border without authorization will be ineligible for asylum. That's unless they can prove they requested asylum.
This is
in another
Haitians.
country.
Look, black and brown in here.
Unaccompanied children. Migrants will also need to pass interviews
Black
with heightened
and brown
standards
in
than the
here.
ones used today. Those who can't prove they're eligible
Judah and
face
Israel.
deportation and a 5-year banishment from the U.S. The full policy is expected to be published tomorrow.
Looking for an easy way to get that LLC next to your business name?
So-
Say hello to Taylor Brown.
All right, Khan. So you know that's the whole thing in a nutshell, man. Like it is this Title 42. The situation in Florida shows how the children of Israel and the children of Judah are oppressed together, man. Right. Before we close the class out, man, I just want to play a little bit of footage from the mission to San Antonio, man. I think we need to play that out real quick, and then we'll get up out of here, man. Because you know what I mean? Them brothers need to be shouted out to, man. Them brothers in ISUPK Texas, ISUPK Mexico, man. Them brothers went out there and helped the Raza out, man. Them brothers went out there and helped the Haitians out. Get that real quick. Here we go. And then we got up out of here 4 days ago. Oh man, let me see. Is it under shorts? I think it's SATX. I'll play this remark and then we go get up out of here. Dang, come on. Where's that footage at, man? Because I got to play that, man. We cannot, we talk about immigration and everything going on over here. We cannot, not play this, man. Let's see. Man, let me try ISUPK Mexico. Let's see. This one right here. Damn. Okay, no sweat. Trying to find that footage out so we can play it, Let's see. ISUPK Mission to El Paso. Let's see if that shows up from my. Con is by the border, man. Con, yeah, it was right there, right? Con, you can see how similar it looks, man. if there's anything right here. Yeah, Con, no sweat. You know what I mean? Them brothers was out there. Them brothers went to Texas. I mean, to El Paso, right? Where, you know, at the one of the forefronts of the Title 42. You know, the whole situation with that, and we're right there helping people out, man. And that's right there, man. Let's it be known, man. You know, let's it be known how much, you know, we give with that. We give a damn about the raza, man.
Right.
That's what that shows, Ramat. Them brothers, man. So shout out to them brothers, man. You know, the brothers in the Texas camp and the nice who became Mexico, because they was out there doing that thing. Let me see. Let me try Real Grand. Well, they got a channel called Mexicans Are Israelites, Ramat. No sweat. It's all on the footage is all over, you know. Oh, the San Antonio page. Okay, throw out sis. San Antonio. So like Mariam, if you could, sis, put the link in the chat, Bubba Kasha, so I can play it. Because I don't think it's showing up right here. For some odd reason, these videos aren't showing up. Is it No Coward San Antonio? Might have to be that. Let's see, she put it right there, so we get a link. We can get a link for that video real quick, so we can get up out of here, man. Everyone want to show that. Hey, we got right here. So WAP. Hey, so WAP. Y'all about Shabakata. Hey, good to hear from you, Karnan. You know, she said, oh, it's on Facebook. That's why. Is it only on Facebook, the video?
I believe so.
Oh, here we go. Let's see, Facebook. Khan. Okay, Khan. Oh man, so we Facebook doing all types of things, man. Make sure I'm not ending this class without showing that footage, man. All right, bear with me, Israel. I know everybody want to go, man, but I need to show this before we get out of here, man. We're not gonna do this, brother. We talk about all this, and we're not gonna show what these canales did, man. You know what I mean, Ramat? It's a lock, you know. And I know everyone delayed, man, but we're gonna show this, man. All right, let's go to ISPK San Antonio. There we go. Most High in Christ. Here's a video right here, man. Hey, the water sis. Appreciate you. These are brothers out there, Ramon. While all this is going on, while you purple, you know, whatever you want to call, when you fake Israelites is out there, you know, trying to shame and come across, you know, come at us, man. This is what we do, man. This is what we do, Ramon. We out there in the streets. We got boots on the ground to help our people out, man. And see these brothers helping them out, man.
You know if you need battery charge too.
I mean, look at these brothers, man, working hard. Look at all this stuff they got, man. Most High in Christ. Got all the supplies together, man. Let's see all them brothers, man, doing this, helping the raza out, man. Of course, for time's sake, you know, of course, there's a carnal, the camp leader of Mexico, right there himself, man. Yashikar Banyashikar, right there, you know. Got Captain Yatazak, Officer Wanya Allah, Brother Quanat. I recognize all these carnales, man. I see Officer Tawata, Officer Shapat. All these brothers out there. This right here, man. You know, setting up. Let's go fast forward. God, Yashika on the mic. Let me find that. There's one footage I want to find, man. The miracles happen in here, right? Miracles happen. Let's find that footage, man. Because for time's sake, of course, we can't show the full 39 minutes, but there's a video of footage of them, you know. Oh, here we go. This is the footage I want to find. Kinda, I like how they tell that, but Fox News won't show you. Families reunited. The work we do. Me alegra mucho ver a ustedes. I got that. This is what happened. This is what the brothers were doing on Saturday. Of course, when that incident was going on, you know, of course, big ups to them brothers in Kansas City, but also big ups to these brothers. They's out there, you know, feeding our raza, man, feeding our gente, man, and they just definitely deserve to be recognized for this as well, man. This is something IUIC does not do. This is something no other fake Israelite group does, man. They don't go out to dangerous zones. I'm sure that border area is probably probably hot with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Them carnales went out there to help their people, man. Halak said, I don't see our leaders out there. God, like we don't have leaders out. The only leaders out that we have is Commanding General Johanna, the ISUPK.
You got me
I
something?
did, yeah.
That's who.
You got me a bathing suit?
I did. I picked it up at the.
You know what I mean? That's the only leader, man. The only true leader for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Americans is Commanding General Johanna. Under the Most High in Christ, you know, and of course going through it, man, and showing, you know, these brothers right there.
The Warrior said, try to get us engaging with the people. Like public knowledge, talking, things they're calling.
The sister Olivia Arnold said, I like this one. Yeah, man. That brother you call your Allah, man, rocking that serape, man. Shit. Correctly, man. The fake Israelites ruined the serapes, man. You know what I mean? That's what the, you know, the weirdos, man. GMS almost ruined that. Khan, Mariam. General commanding General Yohana and his army under Yahweh Shai do the work of the Most High. The work these Christian pastors and groups refuse to do. Khan, Allah, they some greedy pigs, man. They're not leaders, man. Khan, Hyman, Most High in Christ, Khan. Kazakia, they got them like sound like Kazakia. Kazakia, man. Another Karnat, man. There was video of Captain Yatas I put out that I want to share as well, man. Khan. You know what I mean? This man, this is glorious. You know what I mean? And this is definitely, you know what I mean? I want to bring this out, man. And I'm sure this is gonna be brought out, you know, throughout the week, throughout the month, man. I'll keep share these videos, man. Share my lines so that the world can see what the UPK does. You call this a hate? This is what you call a hate group? This is what the SPLC calls a hate group. This is this agenda that they say, the agenda helping Raza out, feeding them. That's the black supremacists. This is what black supremacists do, the black identity extremists. Feeding Raza, man. Feeding their people, helping their people, man. Meanwhile, what do y'all do? I'm sure y'all vote to have laws, strict laws passed to make sure these people don't get a job. You have strict laws passed to make sure these people don't learn their history. That's the oppressor we serve. He is cruel. That's why we're right here to help our people. Now I'm gonna play this video of Captain Gatazak. I'm gonna fast forward this a little bit. You know what I mean? It's more footage than talking to the people. Another canal right there, man. Officer Wanya Allah. Seeing all these brothers, man, doing this work, guys. And let me say this, Ramad. Lord allow, we gonna be doing this soon. We gonna be out there doing the same thing. Lord allow, the brothers in Arizona gonna be doing the same thing. You know what I mean? We're gonna be out there in these border towns helping our people out, man. And of course, you gotta have that damn Christian cross up, man. But that's heavy because you see that Christian church and that Christian cross and these people right there, and they're being fed. We're helping them. That church is not helping them.
Are you able to read that in Spanish? So like yourself, do you have a specific verse?
Also, so Kazakia was right there on the phone. Is that what it is?
Quick favor. Porque tú no estás quebrantando mandamientos. Si tú eres un homosexual.
First, I gotta, you know.
These ones are just printed up with the QR code. These are from Mexico.
Con, this is just some footage, man. I want to play this one with Captain Yatazak. Says they stood in front of the church, showing them, man. They say that because we're helping our people, the people they hate. Sis. Most High in Christ, man. Let me play one last part, and then we're gonna wrap it up. This one right here. It's Captain Yatzazak's footage right here.
Capítulo 7, versículo 6.
That's my carnal right there on the mic.
Porque Dios es un Dios de nosotros, no un Dios de todos, como dice la iglesia cristiana, como dice la iglesia católica.
Mighty priest and officer and camp leader Mexico.
Dios no ama a todos.
On the mic, blazing. The rest of them brothers from Texas, man, doing their thing. Blazing on the mic.
Él nos castiga como amén, amén. Porque tú eres pueblo santo para Jehová tu Dios. Dice la Biblia, tú eres pueblo santo para Jehová tu Dios. El nombre de Jehová en hebreo es Yahweh. Nos dieron un nombre similar, Jehová, pero su nombre
es Brotherhood,
es
Yahweh. This is what Christ and the disciples did, man. You know what I mean? They was out there feeding people. They was out there, you know what I mean, blazing at camp.
Right.
Damn right, so they don't know what they don't know a warrior when they see one now.
Jehová, tu Dios, te ha escogido para hacerle un pueblo especial. Jehová, tu Dios.
So right now we in El Paso, right by the border. They ended Title 42, and they told the brothers that they could come over and seek asylum. And then as soon as they started to come over to seek asylum, they started to change the rules. And now they're saying that if they come over here, they're going to get jail time, which will not allow them to get over here to get the asylum that they promised them. So there are some people that are over here that are stuck, and there are like 11,000 that they sending back a day to other countries. They make it now to where they have to seek asylum in the country that they come from before they can get asylum in the United States. And they're changing the rules, but we out here to help our brothers and sisters.
Just a heads up, Halak.
So right now we just getting out here. We setting up.
Issachar, Aztec, Mexica, all that. Those weren't even names that our indigenous ancestors called them. So that was names that was put on them.
So we just want to show y'all
really Issachar.
Right here,
I know that the whole grand thing with the Mexica and all that. More than Issachar. That's what
we're going to talk to y'all later.
Yashakar.
Por comer puerco, por odiarnos unos a los otros, por no tener hermanidad. Cuando Cristo vino aquí, hizo una...
So with that, man, good night, man. The madness that comes on freaking Facebook. So that right there, man, wanted to close out the class with that, with some footage from the mission to El Paso out. You know, and of course, as you see, this is how we help our people out, man. And this is how we show that brotherhood, man. You know, and this is we don't talk about it. We be about it, man. We walk this life, man. And that Carnales proved that, man. Just like the brothers in Kansas City, man. They proved that, man. But with that, man, that concludes tonight's class, you know. No, this the brotherhood class, you know, we're the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana, man. And we be right here to keep doing these missions, man. You're gonna see more missions to the border towns. You're gonna see more missions to Mexico. We're gonna keep doing this work. And ain't none of you fake Israelite groups, none of you psyops, none of you ops, or whatever you want to call it, can do to stop us. You can't stop the Lord, man. We're going to keep doing this work, man. But with that, that concludes tonight's class, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatah to the carnales, and Yahweh Shema Alatah Bashim Yahushua to the mujeres, to the sisters, man. With that, Rasa, man, we out of here, man. Tune in tomorrow night for the law class at 7 p.m. Friday, the Lashwan Thursday scripture breakdown. Salaya missed the day, all right? Thursday, the scripture breakdown with Captain Gadalhar, 7 p.m. Friday, the Lashwan Dash. You know what I mean? 7 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, you know what I mean? 7 to 9, we got classes. And Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we got the Sabbath service. And we got camp on Hollywood Boulevard, right across the street from Jimmy Kimmel Live, man. Right. You know, 2 p.m. going until. So that's our, that's our, our schedule. Tune in next Tuesday. We're going to bring out more and keep doing this. With that, Shalom, Israel.